Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Marco Davis, President and CEO of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute, CHCI. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate the accomplishments of our summer 2021 congressional interns through this virtual graduation. You know, this cohort is made up of 33 exceptional Latino, Latina, and Latinx leaders from across the country, representing 17 different states, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. More than half of them will be first-generation college graduates, and all have overcome the challenges presented by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Tonight is a culmination of an exciting 10 weeks working with congressional offices, immersing themselves in the world of public policy, keeping the wheels of Capitol Hill turning, and growing their own leadership. And now they graduate and join our network of over 4,400 alumni, forging pathways to success in all industries and sectors, equipped with the tools and skills to be even better leaders in their communities. The program and the work that we do at CHCI would not be possible without the support of our incredible corporate partners. Let me share with you just who these corporate partners are. First, Toyota, the title sponsor of CHCI's Summer Congressional Internship Program, as well as Facebook, UPS, Valero, Charter Communications, Comcast, DLA Piper, Chevron, MasterCard, Shell, the Gilbert and Jackie Cisneros Foundation, Duke Energy Foundation, the Entertainment Software Association, Walgreens, Bristol Myers Squibb, and the National Hep Camp Association. We're incredibly grateful for the support and investment in this next generation of Latino leaders from such an amazing array of leaders and partners who have stood by us over several years and who stood by us this summer. And now I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming our special guests who will share a few words of encouragement and gratitude for our graduating class of interns and all the work that they did in their offices. First, it's my honor to introduce our distinguished chair, Congresswoman Nanette Diaz-Barragan, who represents California's 44th Congressional District. Congresswoman.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrate the tremendous accomplishments of our Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute congressional interns. This cohort of CHCI interns is an embodiment of perseverance. They overcame the circumstances presented to them by a global pandemic and adapted to a virtual workplace. Over the past several weeks, they have answered calls from constituents, assisted congressional staff, and above all, helped ensure success for their offices during these incredibly challenging times. Through their hard work and dedication, they have made a positive impact on Capitol Hill and the districts they serve. Now, they are uniquely equipped to continue their professional journeys and lead the communities they call home, come what may. They are and will continue to be agents of change. These young leaders are now graduating from CHCI's internship program and are joining an incredible list of alumni striving to uplift each other and the Latino community as a whole. We wish them well on their future endeavors. To our intern graduates, you are now and forever a part of the CHCI familia. Estamos orgullosos. We can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations again.
Leadership and dedication. Thank you, Chairwoman Barragan, for your leadership and dedication to our participants. Sorry, I was muted there for a sec. Our next guest, I'm happy to introduce an incredible Latino leader and one of CHCI's most enthusiastic supporters. In fact, he's our most recent board chair. Please welcome Congressman Ruben Gallego, who represents Arizona's 7th Congressional District.
I'm Congressman Ruben Gallego, and I represent Arizona's 7th District. I want to congratulate the graduate of this year's CHCI Summer Congressional Internship Program. The work of interns too often goes unnoticed, but their contributions to member offices are invaluable. I'd like to give a particular thank you to Freddie Soto, a fellow Phoenician who served in my office this summer. Freddie's hard work and dedication were evident throughout his internship, and he put his interest in housing, health, and education policy to work, completing several research projects for my legislative team. Freddie easily met the challenge of working virtually, despite being in a time zone several hours behind DC, something I know very well, never once complained. I'd like again to thank Freddie for his help this summer and wish him the best as he goes on to new pursuits. The CHCI Congressional Internship Program provides an important and unique opportunity for future Latino leaders to experience the inner workings of Congress. I hope you are all able to gain some valuable insight, and you'll take what you've learned with you as much as you can and as you move on to new adventures. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you, Congressman Gallego. Our next guest is paying it forward and investing in developing the next generation of public servants whose shoes he once was in. Congressman Dean Phillips from Minnesota's 3rd Congressional District. Congressman?
Hi, everybody. I'm Congressman Dean Phillips, and I have the distinct honor of representing Minnesota's 3rd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives. And I'm so excited to be with everybody here today and celebrate the graduation of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's summer interns. Internships on Capitol Hill build connections between representatives and their constituents, foster faith in government, and inspire careers in public service. And that's not just speculation, that's my lived experience, just as it is for all of you. Like some of you might know, my own internship with Senator Patrick Leahy back in 1989 opened my eyes to the critical work being done on Capitol Hill to help everyday Americans. And when I returned to Congress 30 years later, I've made it my mission to offer my interns the same formative experience. It is our responsibility as members of Congress not only to lead, but to develop future generations of American public servants. Together, we can develop diverse, collaborative, and selfless leaders to help restore faith in our government. Given the state of politics today and the current culture of Congress, the urgency of that issue has never been greater. In pursuing this mission, Congress must recognize that interns and fellows are woefully underpaid and underdeveloped. That's why programs like yours are essential in ensuring the next generation of leaders reflects the diverse country in which we live. I'm on a mission to knock down the barriers that prevent talented, wonderful young people from all around the country from walking the halls of our nation's capital. So thank you, all of you, for the invaluable service that you're providing to the congressional offices and to all the CHCI staff and guests. Thank you for supporting this wonderful group of bright and energetic students. I want to give a special shout out and thank you to our office's CHCI intern, Raphael, for his invaluable contributions this summer. Thanks again for the opportunity to address you today, and keep the faith. And most of all, I hope to see some of you walking the halls of Congress and the Capitol sometime soon, maybe as a member of Congress yourself. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Congressman, for all your work and your leadership. We cannot thank the congressional offices that hosted our interns enough for providing an enriching and invaluable experience for our participants. We really can't do the work that we do without you. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to have you join us in marking this special occasion. My name is Sasha Frausto, and I am the College Programs Manager at CHCI. So I get the distinct honor and true privilege of working with CHCI's congressional interns, our young leaders, as I like to call them, throughout their time with us. I not only get to see them learn from each other and grow, but I learn alongside them as well. So I'm glad to have spent the summer with the cohort. Over the past 10 weeks, they have overcome the challenges of having to navigate a new workplace virtually. They listened to voicemails, made sure constituents were heard, attended briefings, wrote memos, networked, had conversations about their communities, about their unique perspectives, and so much more, all while balancing everything else happening around them. So getting to this moment is an achievement they should all be proud of. And to share a little about her own experience, I want to welcome Nailette Lopez from Hyde Park, Massachusetts. She attends Harvard University, where she is studying neuroscience, and this summer was placed in her member's office, the office of Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. She was selected by her peers to represent the class today. Take it away, Nyla.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Sasha. I really appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. To the members of Congress, CHCI staff, family members, friends, and my amazing fellow interns who are joining us today, thank you for celebrating the 2021 CHCI Summer Internship Graduation Ceremony with us. As an intern class during a global pandemic, we've faced many challenges during this program and in the journeys we took to get here. Many of us have lost loved ones and faced unprecedented threats to our physical and mental well-being. There are no words to describe how inspired I am by the courage, vulnerability, compassion, and strength that each of us has had to tap into in order to make it to this moment. If there is anything that this pandemic continues to teach us, it is that community is necessary for survival. I've been lucky to be a part of many communities in my life, and my experiences in each of them have guided me as I became the first in my family to enter the halls of Congress, with the help of my VPN, of course. I'm proudly from Hyde Park, Massachusetts, a small neighborhood in Boston. My mother first came here from Venezuela to take care of River Street Mini Market, the bodega her father left her when he passed. We still have security footage of little me dancing in a corner to Shakira, unaware that anyone was watching. My father also came to Boston in search of a better life and has worked for the Boston Public Schools for over 25 years since. Hyde Park was all I have ever known until I started kindergarten in Newton, a predominantly white suburb, the METCO program, a school integration program founded in the 60s to address school segregation. Over the years, I learned to make space for myself in this new community, finding friends, finding my footing, and most importantly, finding my voice, as I realized the unique opportunity I had to share my experiences and represent my home. My voice and my family have since guided me to college, where I have been lucky enough to find a community that uplifts me and pushes me, and now to Congress with all of you. This summer, I feel so honored to have been able to grow into this virtual, yet no less vibrant community of leaders, and to be able to serve the Massachusetts 7th Congressional District through the office of Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. While writing this speech, I was reminded of words she spoke recently at another graduation ceremony. You will always find more understanding, more inspiration, more joy in community than you ever will apart from it. These words could not be more true over the past 10 weeks during my humble service as an intern. Some of the most impactful moments of my experience have happened while on my voicemail shifts, where I could get direct insight into our community's needs, whether it be help with a green card application, support for a bill, opposing sanctions, housing assistance, or, of course, passport renewals. These experiences have concretized my belief that the best policy comes from everyday life, from taking the time to listen to the people around you and their stories, and from holding ourselves accountable to our community. I've also learned invaluable lessons from office staffers who have graciously shared their time, experiences, and advice with us as they welcomed us into their office community. I'm so grateful to Representative Pressley for reminding us that we don't just work for her, but alongside her, and that our worth is not defined by our labor, but by the joy, love, and healing that we can offer ourselves and our communities. Her words also ring true during the time I've shared with my fellow interns. We've been through weeks of incredible programming where we've heard from amazing speakers and participated in workshops that have expanded our knowledge and worldview. But the moments I will cherish the most are those where we laughed together, cried together, and leaned on each other as we navigated the hill. From book recommendations to icebreakers to sharing memories and memes, I'm unbelievably grateful that I have gotten to learn from each and about each of you and the communities you all represent. All of you inspire me every day with your leadership, intelligence, and grace. This program has introduced us to our nation's governing body, a body in which each of us plays a key role in its survival and health. Each of us needs each other now more than ever before as we continue to work to change the world. We're often reminded of the importance of a seat at the table and of the compromises that we must often make to get to that table and make our voices heard. Although compromise is undoubtedly a necessary skill, I hope that all of us remember that we never need to compromise on who we are and what we value, nor do we ever need to compromise on seeking justice for our communities. I hope we all continue to tap into the strength we have as a collective, as we not only sit at these tables, but dare to dream and build bigger and better ones. I know that whatever path we forge for ourselves, we'll be there for each other every step of the way, making sure others can follow in our footsteps as well. As we approach the end of this truly transformative experience, the words of the great Nicki Minaj have popped into my head. I wish that I could have this moment for life. But I know that I am leaving this program with something much more powerful than merely a moment. I am leaving as a part of the CHCI familia, a familia that has welcomed us with open arms, and one that I am so excited to see grow with each intern class after us. Le doy gracias a Dios, a mi familia, the entire CHCI team, the office of Congresswoman Presley, and to all of my fellow interns for making this summer one I will never forget. We made it! Gracias.
Thank you, Naileth, for those powerful words, for the work that you've done and the inspiration that you provide. And what better way to follow up those incredibly moving words than with our next guest speaker. We have another fierce leader, the first woman of color elected to represent the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in Congress, representing Massachusetts' 7th Congressional District, and Naileth's placement, none other than Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. Hi, Congresswoman.
Hello, family. Oh my goodness, I'm in votes, so I'm calling you from a phone booth in the cloakroom, and I'm just so grateful. I know that my remarks are out of the order of the program, but I'm glad it was a blessing so that I had the opportunity to listen to Naileth. Thank you for those resonant and inspiring words. Thank you for the contributions that you've made through our office to the Massachusetts 7th. You will always be A-Team family, so I know you have your CHCI familia, but you will always have your A-Team family as well. Listen, I don't want to keep you all long. I just want to say this. You belong everywhere. You belong everywhere. Your lived experiences make you experts on budgets and policies, and as Naileth so eloquently asserted, this is about building new tables. I used to quote Shirley Chisholm all the time, and she said, you know, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring your own folding chair. And I decided that we shouldn't be bringing new chairs to an old table. We should create an entirely new one. And you are doing that, each and every one of you, and know that you belong everywhere. Take up space. Your perspective, your expertise, it matters, and it is sorely needed. The people closest to the pain should be the closest to the power, driving and informing the policy making. Now, I know that it is challenging to be in spaces that are not built for us to thrive in, where we are in the minority in every way. My entire life trajectory was changed by an internship, just like the one that you've all had. That experience changed the trajectory of my life. Now, it was an unpaid internship, and I'm grateful that we've made strides. Today, we're voting on an appropriations budget that ensures that interns will continue to be paid a living wage. But when I began as an unpaid intern in the office of Congressman Joseph P. Kennedy II, it was the 8th Congressional District, and I worked 3 paid jobs to do that unpaid internship. And that is because most of the interns came from affluent backgrounds. And so those barriers to access to that sort of rarefied political education and access, those barriers are very real. And I felt even once I had earned the position and was excelling in the role, I often found myself feeling that I was operating at a deficit and insufficient. And I remember asking myself, why are my peers that are not Black and brown operating differently? And I realized they were operating with a level of self-agency that I wasn't. And something switched in me. And so I'll just say to you, please, never forget, your voice matters, your perspective matters, it's needed. Take up space. You belong everywhere. And never forget that it's not just about you taking up space. You have to create it too. So make sure you send that elevator back down and bring someone else up behind you. I know, trust, and believe that another world is possible. One that affirms the humanity and the dignity of Black and brown lives and codifies that in our budgets and in our policies. Another world is possible, one that replaces systems of oppression and systematic marginalization and policy violence, instead with systems that foster and promote healing and thriving. If we can legislate hurt and harm, then we can legislate equity, healing, and justice. So I thank all of you for being community builders. I thank you for being disruptors. I thank you for your service. I thank you for your sacrifice. I thank you for your sweat equity. I thank you for giving a damn about your neighbor and about our democracy, and especially that you have done this at such an inflection point for our nation. You have been critical stewards at a crossroads for this country. It's very rare that you are aware that you are making and shaping history when you're in it. But given the unprecedented hurt that we have been dealing with, I would argue for 4 years, 4 or 5 years, but certainly unprecedented the last year, I thank you for your resilience in the face of it all, that you have met these unprecedented times with unprecedented leadership and unprecedented hope. And it's my prayer that you'll never lose that. Thank you so much. Congratulations, graduates. I expect great things from all of you.
Thank you, Congresswoman, and also thank you to Nylet, both powerhouses in my eyes and incredible leaders. I echo the sentiment that we're expecting great things from our group. And it's been really great to see the summer cohort be each other's support system and create this uplifting space and community, even when miles apart. But now, the moment we've all gathered around our screens for, I present to you CHCI's Summer 2021 Congressional Interns. Loved it. Congratulations, everyone. I see true change makers, each in your own right. We are so proud of everything you have accomplished thus far, the impact you've already had on your communities and will continue to have. So we can't wait to see everything else you accomplish. So although this is a bittersweet moment because the program is coming to an end, I am glad to share that this is not the end of your journey with CHCI, but rather the beginning, as you all now become members of the Alumni Association. And to share a few words of welcome, we have the CHCI National Alumni Association President, Jose Plaza.
Thank you, Sasha. First and foremost, I would like to thank Marco and the CHCI staff for facilitating another great program and providing such a rewarding experience for the graduates as we navigated through this pandemic. Thank you to our program sponsors and to the elected officials and organizations who have opened their offices to provide an invaluable experience for this class. To this year's cohort, congratulations. Your admittance into CHCI is no small feat. You all represent the best and brightest for my community. That is both an accolade and a serious responsibility to dwell on. For every one of you admitted, there were countless others that were not granted a spot in our programs. Now, as a graduate of CHCI, you have the responsibility to continue opening the doors and leading others like you into similar opportunities. Years ago, when I moved to DC to complete my fellowship, I remember being scared and excited at the prospect of picking up and doing something completely different. Yet in retrospect, having completed CHCI resulted in me recognizing that the goals I had set for myself were just but scratching the surface at the success to come. I challenge you now to dream bigger and recognize the amazing accomplishment that this is. Many have told you before, but your class is more resilient than ever. The last few years, this generation has experienced political unrest, a racial reckoning, and an urgent call to action to right the wrongs of those that came before us. As people of color, as immigrants, and children of immigrants, our communities have faced consistent challenges, but difficulties have been part of this learning process and made us that much more resilient. It is your duty now to use this experience to embolden yourself and continue making strides. For some, this might just be another line in the resume, but I challenge you to strengthen the relationships built, recommit yourselves to the ideals you listed in your application, and utilize this vast alumni network to affect change in your community. Your journey is just getting started, and when you look back at these moments, I hope you will appreciate the lessons and the fact that through a pandemic, shifting learning modalities, and in a world trying to figure out how to survive, you successfully completed this program. CHCI for me was a life changer. And it is why years later, I continue committed to ensuring that young people have this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have the privilege of serving as the national president for the CHCI Alumni Association and representing the more than 4,000 alumni across the country. I hope wherever you call home, you will continue learning, bettering yourself and your community, and that you utilize the CHCI Alumni Association as a resource for your continued success. So without further ado, it is my privilege as the president of the Alumni Association to welcome you to our alumni familia and hope that you will remain active as an alum. CHCI and the Alumni Association are only as reputable as its members, and I hope you will take an active part in continuing to elevate our organization. Go out and make this a better world. Felicidades y seguimos luchando. Gracias.
Thank you, Jose, for those inspiring and moving words, and most importantly, for your leadership heading up the CHCI Alumni Association. The alumni are lucky to have you at the helm. Internship participants, we hope that what you've learned has been informative and interesting. We also hope that you will carry all that you've seen and been a part of forward, sharing your insights with your peers and fellow community members. Continue to make an impact in your communities and the nation as the leaders that you are. That in fact, quiet as it's kept, you already were when you first joined us. Congresswoman Presley said that you belong everywhere. Hopefully that was not news to you, but just a reminder. Because in fact, you all demonstrated before you ever logged onto our program that you not only belong everywhere, but in fact, you are needed everywhere. Our nation's lawmakers benefited from all your efforts this summer, and our society will be better because of it. Thank you for making the effort, for sacrificing, as Naileth said, to immerse yourselves in everyday policy. You all overcame any and all obstacles to get to this point, and there were plenty of obstacles this year. And we're all rooting for you as you continue on your journey. We can't wait to see the continued impact you will make. You should know that you've made your families proud and you've made your friends jealous. So continue on your leadership path, continue to make us all proud, and please stay in touch as part of the extended CHCI Familia. On behalf of the entire CHCI Familia, congratulations. Well, that concludes our program for today. Thank you again to the summer 2021 CHCI Congressional Interns. Thank you to your families and communities for sharing you with us this summer. And a huge thank you to our CHCI programs team, who have done an incredible job managing the program so successfully, despite the complex and challenging circumstances. And of course, thank you to our supporters, our sponsors who help make the program possible. Finally, thank you to all of you for joining us this evening to celebrate these incredible leaders. Have a good evening and please stay safe and healthy.